Hey, what's up? What's up? Coming back to you. I'm indoors. Yeah, it's pretty cold out there, but I just thought I'd change the scenery up a little bit and do something indoors. All right, man. Today I'm going to go over what is called, got my notes here, right? So today I'm going to go over what is called the lifestyle strategy, right? The fitness and mental health version of that. So what I want to do is kind of touch on like the kitchen reps. The kitchen reps basically is how many times are you going to cook for you to get used to it. They usually say that 21 times of doing something becomes a habit. And that's like one of the things that I try to look for or use, and I think you should do too. Do something for 21 days or, do something 21 times or create something or say something, like TV commercials. They do things, they put the commercials out over and over and over again to eventually, the average human will want to be interested in it. So every healthy meal, right, prepared at home is a rep. All right. And I'm just looking at my notes, guys. Don't mind me. I'm just kind of looking at my bullet points. But every healthy meal prepared at home is a rep, for your longevity. Right. So once again, you don't have to cook every day, but start off small, like do one meal a day and cook, or do 2 meals a day and cook. And then you get going up to 3 meals a day if you're going to eat 3 meals a day. Or like I said before, make a big pot, of something, and you'll have at least 2 to 3 days of meals. All right, moving on. The air fryer advantage. Now, guys, I've been talking about this for a while now. I had made or perfected buffalo wings in the air fryer. It's been a long time coming. I really wanted to make buffalo wings that will definitely satisfy the taste that I usually get from certain stores. Ain't too many places that can make good buffalo wings. One of my favorite foods, but and it's weird because that's not something that I wanted to do to perfect. Probably like some salmon or something like that, maybe a good nice sauce on it and stuff like that. I would probably want to perfect, but yeah, something I guess buffalo wings was the key. And what happened was with my buffalo wings, I decided to just make buffalo wings. I don't know, I just had the taste of it, and I pretty much bought the wings. I bought the whole wings, right? Because I think, guys, you come out a little cheaper. I bought the whole wings and then I cut them into twos. So if I bought like 16, whole wings and I cut up in two, that's about what, 32 wings, So, I mean, I don't know. How many wings can you guys eat, when hungry? I think I can get down about 8. Now, if they're real small, I mean, obviously, probably got to double it. But so yeah, so I bought the whole wings, cut them in half, and then doubled the size, right? And then after that, I've washed it off, guys. I washed it off just using vinegar. Please do that, guys. Do not make your chicken wings without washing it. Okay, please don't do that. But anyway, I would recommend you wash your wings, and that's what I did. Wash my wings, let it soak for a little bit in some vinegar, wash the wings off, and then what I did was I just seasoned it. Now, how I seasoned it was using, like powdered seasonings. I could have used natural herbs and spices and things of that nature, but I was afraid putting it in the air fryer, it probably would have burned. I'm not sure. Maybe one day I'll do it. But I just kind of wanted to go the powdered version for right now as far as seasoning. So I just pretty much put garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika. What else did I put? Some, of course, salt, fine sea salt, kosher sea salt, some pepper. And I think I dabbed a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in that too. Gave it a little bit like an umami taste. I'm not sure, but it does definitely enhance the flavor of it. And so what I did was, so yeah, I took that and I just mixed it up. You could put gloves on or not, but I mixed it up with my hands, real good. And I was gonna let it marinate, but I was like, man, I just wanted to try these out, man. And I was actually kind of hungry. So I just pretty much warmed up my air fryer, stuck it in there, and I cooked it at 400 degrees. And this is the kicker because I didn't know that I can cook the food at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. I thought I was going to burn them, and I was like, man, I don't know if I should do it. So I took my first batch, man, stuck them things in there. And yes, at 400 degrees for about 24 to maybe 26 minutes, you could probably go as long as 30 if you really like them crispy, and I didn't put any flour on it or anything, they were just straight up skin, skin and meat. And I put it in the air fryer, cooked it for 400 for about 24 minutes. I flipped it, right? Half the way. I think that's about roughly 12 minutes or something like that. And I flipped it, or I think it was 26 minutes, and I flipped it like 13 minutes, give or take, right? Teach his own with, the type of wings you like. And yeah, I took them out, and I kid you not, flavored to the bone. You know how you bite into that chicken or you bite into that wing, and not only do you taste the flavor on top, but when you bite all into the chicken, you taste the flavoring all the way down to the bone. Yeah, man, that was just one of the things that I loved. And yeah, I was shocked. I was like, wow, this is restaurant style buffalo wings. Of course, I took some, Frank's Red Hot. All right. Yes. No, I'm not sponsored by them, but I took some Frank's Red Hot sauce. Okay. And some butter. Right. I melted the butter. Right. Well, I made a mistake. I actually put the butter in the Frank's Red Hot and I, turned the heat up. Not supposed to do that. Do not make that mistake, guys. Do not take cold butter, put it in the Frank Red Hot sauce in the sauce pot, and try to melt it down. Melt the butter first because it's going to take forever. So yeah, melt the butter and then pour it into the Frank Red Hot sauce, and voila, that's all it is. Then take like a tablespoon and just kind of, pour it onto the already cooked buffalo wings, right? And then do that little toss. Bang and bang. And I kid you not, guys, just straight up store-bought buffalo wings. And it was that simple. One, I know the seasonings of it, and I knew what was in it. I know the amount of salt was in it, and it was more under control. And it wasn't no preservatives or anything. I just used pretty much powdered seasonings, which are pretty good. They're pretty good for what you could put on food. And yeah, then that's what came out of it, and I loved it. So now I know how to do it. And once you know how to do it, that's that mental part, right? Once you know how to do it, you just kind of keep repeating it and keep repeating it. And then you go from there. Now, if you want to add flour and stuff like that and make it a little bit more crispy, hey, that's cool. Or add like, what is it? Like baking powder. You use baking powder, and that'll make it a little bit more crispy. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, that's my story for, the buffalo wings. All right, moving on to the next point. My next bullet point is the resource break. Okay, so I want to address the mental side of fitness. Sometimes, in fitness, you kind of get tired of the same scenery, and what I've noticed when it comes to the environment that you're in, it can get very tiresome, boredom. You're seeing the same people all the time, the same scenery, the same things when you go and travel to different places, like going to work or, the errands that you run throughout the week. Yeah, it can get tiring. And sometimes mentally that can beat up on you as well. So I was pretty much thinking and understanding and started to notice that sometimes a change of scenery can help you with your fitness as well. I mean, listen, I live in New York. It's super cold. Any type of warm temperature coming this way, it's not going to be as warm. I think this week we're going to get some pretty much good weather, but it ain't gonna last long. We're gonna get little sprinkles of snows and stuff everywhere. So, but you get tired of the cold, or if you're down in the South, sometimes you get tired of the heat. You just want to go somewhere where it's lukewarm, right? So for me, for those who live in the North, you may understand like sometimes the cold weather, can get monotonous, man, just boring, and you just know where to go. You're in your house. I mean, you go out and play in the snow, but if you're older, if you're 40 and over, yeah, they're probably not going to want to go out and play in the snow. I remember growing up, that's what we did, before responsibilities became a thing. I used to, on snow days like that in New York, we used to, me and my friends would get out and go to the park and play football in the snow, man. That was some fun times. But, as you get older, you put away childish things, if you know what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, what happened for me was I'm starting to get tired of the cold. I've dealt with it pretty much all my life. I'm a 4-season guy. But now I'm like I said, when you're over the age of 40, you start to try to think different. You want to find out like what is it? What else is out there? Because you just get sick of seeing the same things. You're feeling the same cold weather. So sometimes going to a warmer place, if you're living in the North or the Northeast, and going to a warmer place just for a weekend, it doesn't have to necessarily be for a week or two. Hell, for me, the way I feel, man, I might want to take a trip going somewhere for about, let's just say the month of February, probably like middle of January, month of February. Brother won't be back, until like March, but I get it. Not everybody has the budget for that. So I would rather, just have you just go and take a weekend and go and enjoy some warm weather. I don't know, go to like Southern California, I mean, go in the South. There's places in Texas, hell, I mean, well, Florida may not always be the greatest place sometimes, especially during this time of the year, because I think we are in February, right? So yeah, just, they're getting some cold weather, but heading out west or southwest part, just, going to like Arizona or a desert, I mean, getting away for an extra 2 to 3 days or a weekend, or hell, even 4 days, I would say max, definitely helps resonate, with, your mental health. And, it also having the sun on you, that vitamin, what is it, vitamin D? I think it's vitamin D. Yes, vitamin D. Yeah, having that sun on you, during that warm weather time will help, vibrate you, like, as they say, raise your chakras a little bit, raise your vibration, give you more energy because you're getting a little bit of warm weather on you. You're getting some of that sun, because in cold places, the sun is out, but you don't necessarily get the sun rays. So I would suggest too, part of the resource break that I would say at this part of the of this conversation is making sure that you take some time to go somewhere and have a change of scenery for the next 2 or 3 days. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it as far as the lifestyle changes. One things you want to do is, once again, get your kitchen reps in, right? The air fryer advantage, like use your air fryer so you don't have to worry about using a whole lot of oil and things of that nature on your food. If you feel like, hey, I'm using too much oil, also get some really good oil. Guys, sometimes you got to go over the budget a little bit, spend some money to get some real oil, okay? Usually like an avocado, or even a peanut oil. If you're allergic to peanut oil, then, just disregard that. But avocado oil should suffice. It's just so you can just coat the chicken. But the air fryer advantage, use your air fryers if you have them, guys. Don't just let it sit under the cupboard and collect dust, man. Sometimes those are quick meals you can make, within, 25 to 30 minutes. And then with the resource break, guys, make sure you take some time out, especially if you're in the cold, or if you're in your neck of the woods and you're just tired of seeing the same things around you, definitely, kind of get away for a little bit. If you can just go 2 or 3 hours out of your area and just kind of chill, for about 2 or 3 days, you can definitely rejuvenate from that. But if you want to go somewhere, and get some sun, take about 3 or 4 days off, and still work out if you want, if there's a gym there wherever you're staying, but just take some time off and get away, and get some of that sun ray on you. For my melanin folks, you know what it is. When we get that sun, man, we feel vibrant and vigorous. So definitely, guys, for anyone out there, take that resource break. It's very good for your fitness as well. All right, guys, that's enough. I will see you guys on the next video. If you found this video valuable, just comment below. I'm here to answer any questions, and I just thought I'd just do something a little different, more inside. All right, guys, see you guys in the next video.